You're on Wikipedia, not IMDb.
I was on IMDb at first.
Did you notice anything while you were there?
No?
Depending on how you feel about this movie, I think we're going to be in the minority here, apparently. That's a great reaction.
Well, that was a movie.
Hello, welcome back to First Thoughts. I'm Simon, this is Justin.
Hey.
And today we're giving our first thoughts on How to Make a Killing, which was written and directed by John Patton Ford. No relation to John Ford, don't even Google it. I did. It is starring Glenn Powell, Margot Qualley, and Ed Harris, and some other people in it as well. What's the chick's name?
Oh, Jessica Henwick, I believe.
It's a terrible name for an Asian lady. You don't sound Asian at all.
Jessica Henwick. Yes.
Henwick? She must be like half Asian or something. What kind of
English.
name?
Mark Henwick and Perlin Henwick. So yeah,
Mark.
I'm gonna guess Mark.
You're freaking African Americans. And Mark. Anyway, we are so off topic. Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. So in case you don't know what this plot is, you haven't seen the trailer or nothing, it follows Glenn Powell's character, who is a bastard of sorts to an extremely wealthy family. They're in the billions. They're worth in the billions. But because of how he was conceived, he is no longer going to get that money because they're put out of the family, and the only way he could get it is due to an inheritance that he's very unlikely to ever see or touch, unless a lot of people above him just happen to die really soon.
Super coincidental, man.
Coincidental.
Come on.
Or, he could just get a really cushy job and get really rich that way. Who cares?
Hey. Let's be real here. It wasn't really rich. It was moderately rich. It's only really rich to us.
Penthouse in New York City.
Yeah. That's
a spoiler.
That's moderately rich to the really rich. Okay. It's only really rich for us.
Cutting to the chase here, because I accidentally noticed this movie has a 54% on Metacritic, which shocked the hell out of me. I thought this was going to be a fan favorite. Well, granted, this is from critics. Audience's score isn't out yet, but I thought critics would like this. They hate it. I thought this was a really good movie.
I enjoyed this quite a bit. Now, I enjoyed the middle more than, towards the ending. But I thought the ending was pretty solid. I'm not terribly surprised critics don't like this.
I guess. There are some writing flaws we'll get into for sure. But before I do, I'm going to say this movie was a lot of fun. I thought the acting was great. I thought the directing was good. I said to you during it, I was shocked by, it's a really big thing on film Twitter complaining about people don't know how to light movies anymore. Movies look terrible nowadays, which isn't entirely true, but a lot of movies look like commercials. This movie looked great, and that cinematography, lighting, directing, all of that camera work was great. And it was a fairly original movie because, yes, it's an idea we've heard before, but they had a slightly different take on it than I've seen before. I have complaints, but overall, it's good to me.
Yeah, no, I also thought it was pretty good. Very funny time. Figured we were going into that because I remember seeing this trailer a few times.
Yeah.
And the trailer did make it seem comedic.
Yeah.
Even though the plot would be about potential murder.
Yeah, I also feel like the title is a dead giveaway there.
Yeah.
How to Make a Killing. I guess you could title a non-funny movie something tongue-in-cheek, but it's it's tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah. Especially as the movie's building up. I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoyed his journey of sorts. Towards the ending, I started to drop off a little bit. It went in directions I did not expect, though. I'll give it that.
No, yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
I'll give it props for some of the ballsy-ass decisions it made. I thought the ending was so brave, I guess.
Yeah. I could also see people very much hating that.
Exactly. That's why I thought critics would like it, because it did something atypical. And we shouldn't say anything more because we'll start giving people clues.
That's fair.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that, this is going back to the fucking House of Dynamite here, where when you do something that I don't expect, I automatically give you props.
See?
And so do critics, I thought. But not in this case.
This is the real subversion of expectations.
But yes, okay, so there's some writing and pacing issues because this movie, I joked to you, had 2 plots. Kind of does.
Yeah.
And I feel like it should have just picked the one and gone with it, the obvious one. The other one could have been a good movie too, but we didn't need it in this movie. And because of that, we kind of cheapened some moments. Like, obviously, it's not a spoiler, he's going around killing people, and it wastes time on this other stuff so that it kind of does that thing you see in a lot of these movies where it needs to make up some time, so it does like a montage of him killing people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I wanted to spend time on all of these, and we skipped like 3 or 4 of them. I think 3 of them by just going like rapid.
3 in rapid succession.
Yeah, and it's like we didn't get any depth with that, or so it's like that was an issue to me writing wise. And then also I thought character motivation was unclear. They double back and try to explain it later, and I don't think it's done well. And then also, lastly, I think messaging wasn't clear. And I get what they're going for with the movie, but I feel like they didn't make it clear for most of the movie what they were trying to say. It kind of felt shoehorned in.
Yeah. Really, I wasn't sure this one was gonna have a
message.
Yeah.
A point.
Wasn't 100% sure there, but
Yeah.
I guess it went for one. It's hard to even call it the B plot because, like, if it weren't for that side plot,
Yeah.
I don't think the ending would be as impactful.
No, absolutely
But,
not. It was necessary
yeah,
for what they ended up going for. I just didn't know that they should have gone for that.
No, I also agree it did take away from what I wanted to see from the movie. So,
Yeah.
And what was my favorite part of the movie, him killing people.
Yeah.
So.
And scheming, like, because it's not like he's not like a hitman. He has to do things creatively.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that, which is why when you start skimming through it, you miss out on the creativity, and you're like, oh, he did what? Okay, cool, I guess.
Especially since it was starting to seem like everybody in this family is some wild character.
Yeah.
And they were entertaining.
It was like
as
a
hell.
Knives Out movie almost with the type of cast they had going.
It very much was.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking that during this, where I was like, because also similar like archetypes. So you've got a similar cast, similar type of characters, and death. And I was like, oh, this is what I would be experiencing if I liked Knives Out. Was what I was thinking during the movie. Because there's like some really out there characters that I had no idea. Topher Grace was in this movie. He was a jump scare to us, and he plays this like crazy mega church pastor, and I loved that, like a Joel Osteen type, except for imagine Joel Osteen with a katana. That's what Topher Grace was, and I loved that. And so you've got some pretty wild characters, and that was fun to see. And then we just kind of put that to the side to skim through some stuff to get to the ending, and I thought that was disappointing. Oh yes, the guy from The Office. Yes. Every line he said was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, he is from The Office.
What do you know him from?
Silicon Valley. It's where I immediately remember him from.
Okay, yeah, I've never watched that. I just think Office when I see him.
Good old Jared.
Yeah.
No, Zach Woods. He was great in this too.
He was also one of the cousins, and he was like a really shitty Nepo artist.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. He was hilarious.
Oh, God.
There's one line in particular that really sticks out to me where they ask his girlfriend, like, or she brings up kids, and they go, do you want kids? And she goes, yeah, I think so, And they ask him, and he's like, oh, well, it's not that I hate kids, but yeah, I fucking hate kids. So that's kind of the style of delivery. Also, at one point, he's like, oh, I've got to go. I just remembered. I hate both of you. He's got some really good lines, really good deliveries. Some really good, funny characters in there. I think Topher Grace was my favorite thing about the movie, honestly. But, I mean, not to take anything away from the stars. I mean, Glenn Powell, Margaret Qualley, and Henwick, what's her name? Jessica Henwick. Those 3, they all have absolute star power. And I know, obviously, you know that about Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley, but I had never thought of Jessica Henwick as a star before. I recognized her vaguely from a bunch of other projects, but she was awesome in this. She was really good in this. So,
Listen, I knew she could do it. She was always the best part of Iron Fist.
see, I didn't watch that. I don't know.
It's not worth it, but she was the best part of it.
Okay. You see that turd? That's the best turd in this field of
It's
turds.
the only polished one there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's it's not that like, Glenn, Jessica, and Margot are Margaret are bad or in any way, especially well, I guess Margaret fits in the other category. It's just the other characters are just so wilder and so much more interesting.
Over the top, or
Yeah.
they've got something going on.
Like at least Glenn is, we got a scheming. Jessica's just a regular person.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
that's
her character's just a regular person.
That's what was great about her.
Yeah.
Was she was kind of that endearing girl next door type or whatever.
Yeah, but I think she also suffered from, I guess the A plot of the movie, because I don't feel like we got enough of her for her side of the movie.
Exactly. It's because everybody suffered from the other plot that they weren't involved in as much, and that was a shame. But we've said enough negativity for now. We'll save the rest for spoilers. I'm going to give this movie, I think, a 7.5. I really enjoyed it.
I was gonna go 7.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it. Yes.
Yeah, well, chasms of difference between a 7.5 and a 7. But to be fair, I actually was debating. At a certain point, I was debating 8, but I think the writing was a little too sloppy to go 8. Because for me, I've said it before, 8 is when I start going, this is classic territory. This is not a classic, just because the writing is too sloppy.
Yeah, I think had it kept focus more on the
Either plot.
well,
Either one.
Either
but yeah,
plot, but
the
mostly
one that it's
murders.
advertised to be. Yeah.
And I think, if it had focused more there, probably the ending would have shaped up a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And while I did enjoy the very end of it, getting there at times, slogged a bit.
Bumpy road.
And so that, for me, that's going to be the 7. So.
That's fair, but it's still definitely worth a watch because of all the good things we were saying. Like I said, it looks great. It sounds great. The soundtrack was good. And then, of course, the acting was great. Maybe my favorite ensemble cast of the year so far. It's between this and No Other Choice. That movie had phenomenal acting across the board as well. But yeah, this really just stood out. I was like, everybody's good in this. I'm enjoying every performance, no matter how small. So really enjoyed this movie, and we give it a thumbs up. Check it out. But if you don't want anything spoiled, we are going to get into spoilers now. Go watch it first. Come back and we can talk about it then. But don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. So, spoilers. All right. To sum up the plots here, the A plot, if you will, is the one that you know about from the trailer. Glenn Powell is going around. He's trying to get this inheritance, which is over 10 billion. It was somewhere between 10 and 20 billion, I think. Ridiculous. If you got this kind of money, you wouldn't even know what to do with it kind of money, right? And the only way you can do that is by killing 7 relatives that were born before him. So it's like 3 cousins, 2 uncles, an aunt, and his grandfather, I think is what it is. But anyway.
Something like that.
And so he's trying to do that. Meanwhile, the reason he's trying to do that is because it was taken away from him because his grandfather told his mom to get an abortion, and she said, no, I want to keep it. And he said, fine, then you're not in the family anymore. And she was like, but I'm 18. And he said, fuck you. And so he feels a personal hatred toward his grandfather, but he's also never met him, and he hasn't met most of his family. So it's kind of like they're at a distance. But then the first one he kills, his first cousin he kills, works for the cousin's father, so his uncle, at his Wall Street, job firm, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes to meet him to talk to him, planning to kill him, and in talking to him, he offers him a job, so he starts working for him. Long story short, he doesn't want to kill him anymore. But this is where plot B comes into play. He gets rich very quickly at this job because of nepotism. He gets an office. They don't specify how long it's been. He gets engaged in the same amount of time, so it's probably been at least a year or two. At one point, Margaret Qualley says, remember a year ago when this happened? So time is going by very quickly.
Yeah, it's like a year from when he tries to ask her out when he's working at the shoe store to when he sees her again in his office or whatever.
Right. So stuff is happening quick, but not as quick as it may seem.
Yeah.
And yes, nepotism. But anyway, he's able to get a high rise in New York City. He's doing good. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. And so how it's kind of phrased, it seems like, maybe I don't have to kill everybody. And then he goes, all right, time to kill the next one. And you're like, wait, what? And then like 4 or 5 scenes later, then the priest he's telling the story to goes like, so wait, your life is good. Why are you killing people? And he goes like, nah, it's not enough. And then that's just how they go with it. And it's like, the point of the movie is if like you get consumed by greed, nothing is ever enough. If you make money your focus in life, it's never going to be enough and you're never going to be satisfied and it's going to ruin everything, essentially. That's what like the first part of the message is.
Right.
The second part ends up being a little bit more nuanced and complex, which is too bad the world is a shithole and being the bad guy actually gets you far in life. Haha. And so I like that. I like both messages. The delivery of both is pretty shitty though, unfortunately. But yeah, the whole time, literally, you can ask Justin, the whole time I'm going, why is he still killing people? His life is good. He has money. What is the point anymore?
And every time I'm responding with the absolute correct answer. Cartoonish movie greed. Probably just general greed.
Yeah,
You know?
General Greedus.
Listen, yes, exactly. General Greedus. It's never enough. All right?
General Kenobi.
Listen, you can go from working in a fancy clothes store, getting fired for some 19-year-old of the store owner's son or whatever.
Yeah, nepotism is a strong through line of this movie.
You can go from nepotism against you to nepotism for you, and it's still not enough.
Hey, I totally understand that. It's relatable because of my own personal experience with like getting, raises or switching jobs. No matter what, you always then end up wanting more. You get used to the new normal. I get that. But they don't take the time to say it, which is why it's frustrating, because the character, you think at the beginning you're rooting for him, and by the end you learn that, oh no, he's not a good person and I don't like him. But you don't get any point of reference to go, I understand him. I didn't understand him because they never talked about why he was the way he was. He was just out there being a greedy motherfucker.
Listen, we saw it. It just, it's not like other media where they would have hammered it home a few times.
Yeah.
He would have been like lying in bed or something and hearing his mother's words in his head. Go out and don't stop until you have the life.
We had that, yeah.
We didn't have it. They didn't hammer it home enough.
He literally heard his mom's words echo.
Not enough.
That literally happened, Justin. He was sitting in the apartment.
Once.
Which was a great looking shot, by the way. There were so many shots in this movie, and that's why at a certain point I was like, oh, it's A24. I forgot why this movie looked so good. But yeah, even like the scene though, where like you mentioned he's working at this job, and then they're like, hey, we're moving you to the, I forget where, location, a different location. And he goes like,
Jersey City, I think.
Yeah, Jersey City location. He's like, isn't that the warehouse? And they're like, yeah, sorry. And he's like, I don't want to work in a warehouse. I like working here. I'm like, well, okay, but it's not our choice. We have to bring in the 19-year-old son of the boss. And he's like, well, can't you do something for me? Like, this isn't fair. This isn't how life should work. Can't you help me out? And then it cuts to him walking outside. And I was waiting to find out what happened. Like, oh, wait, did they just straight up fire him for that? Like, I was expecting something, but it's just like, can you help me out? Hard cut to him outside. Nothing is ever said again.
Yeah, I figured we'd hear that he quit, but
something
was never said.
He just doesn't have his jacket now. I'm like, did they fire him and take the jacket? What happened? And that's where I'm like, there's a severe lack of communication of what is happening in this movie.
Yeah.
And yes, I am the type of person that says show, don't say. But you have to clearly show, therefore, what happened. You can't just not show, not say.
Listen, they're like, you've seen greedy people before, and you've seen people down on their luck turn greedy before.
Absolutely.
Just
every person who's poor and gets rich, I shouldn't say every, but most of them just become another rich person very quickly. Yeah. Shocking. I would too, you would too, we all would. Don't judge.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And so that is.
Listen, I'd be fine with Jessica Henwick and my penthouse and my job.
Oh,
right?
yes.
I don't need 10 million.
Yes.
I'll take 10 million.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would be fine. I've said that every movie since we've been doing this podcast, that just give me the pretty girl and a decent job, and I'm not complaining anymore.
Listen, not only did he get the pretty girl and the decent job, to do that, he had to kill 2 people. One of them, her boyfriend, that he stole her
That
from.
is a point I wanted to get to, where until the ending, I kept going like, how are we presenting this as a good thing? Because it's very clearly, I thought, like, the bad choices and the good choices. It's like the bad choices is the Margaret Qualley road. Ooh,
Yeah.
rich and evil. And then the good choices, not poor, but like, you know, she did the whole spiel from Shark Tale where it's like, nobody liked me when I was poor. Well, I did! That part. Anybody seen Shark Tale? Great movie. Martin Scorsese is in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking about that movie the other day because I completely forgot the plot. And then I was like, oh yeah, Jack Black is a vegetarian shark that fakes his own death to make Will Smith famous. That's a fun movie. Anyway, great shit. But you're presenting like the quote-unquote good choice life
Right.
as a girl that cheated on her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And then he murdered said boyfriend.
Yeah.
Almost, I say end. It was like neck and neck.
Yeah.
Cheat, death.
But
No cheating, death.
she had some time to get over him,
Mm.
and then she came back. So it's all good now.
Yeah,
he
but they
wins.
still made out when she was in a committed relationship.
But he left.
I put quotations for the audio listeners. I put quotations around
But
committed.
listen for the audio listeners. He left his jacket at her place, and
And then she
lured
came
her out.
sauntering out.
Listen, he wins.
If I didn't know any better,
I'm not saying-
thought you wanted me all by myself.
That was hilarious.
And then he's like,
immediate.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
I swear to you,
I get it.
until she turned into the love interest for the movie,
Mm.
I thought there was gonna be another woman every other.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Just every single new
No,
woman he meets is
yeah.
trying to jump him.
The first scene she's introduced, you could tell she was a love interest, and I was sitting here going to you, so who's dying? Somebody has to die or become the villain.
Yeah.
Turns out, obviously, Margaret Qualley was, which you find out like 2 scenes later, but I was like, what? You can't have 2 of them.
You see, that's where it's that's how you know who's the good and the bad one,
Yeah.
right? You see, Jessica Henwick's character was only dating.
Margaret Qualley was married.
See, that's where it matters.
And she was pursuing him.
Yeah.
He pursued her. And he was also a bad boyfriend. Therefore, cheating's okay. Anyway, so I'm sitting here going, like, this movie seems very morally gray because, like, we're supposedly this is good choices, but they're not good choices. But then it did redeem itself with the ending by going, actually, he got caught doing his shitty things. Not all the shitty things, but, like, he had been keeping a locket full of Margaret Qualley's hair his whole life, and I guess Margaret Qualley gave it to Jessica Henwick, and then she gave it to him and said, fuck you, and drove away. Imagine driving to the prison just to say, I'm not picking you up, and then driving away. That's fucking great.
I hope
Love
it's down
her.
the street. It's just like, damn.
But then, yeah, so then you're like, oh, wow, he's paying for his decisions. That's great. And then he turns around and Margaret Qualley's there. And as you said, man, this guy can't lose. That's not true, though, because it's supposed to be, as you hear from the gate closing on the home and it using the sound effect from the prison, he is now in a whole different kind of hell because he is now got what he always wanted, the girl and the money and the mansion and the car and everything, but it cost him his soul. It cost him his freedom, and he is fucked for life. Oh, God. And that was fun. That was a good redemption of the choices that were made up to that point. Yeah. I just didn't know that was necessarily the simplest route to go.
No, definitely not the simplest route. But I will say, I'd rather, a life with Margaret Qualley than, $10 billion rather than death row in prison,
Oh,
I'll take it.
You'd say that, and except for that her ex-husband killed himself. So
he left a note.
What? Yes, as suicide. I'm not saying that that was a fake suicide. He actually killed himself because of her. Was what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I really, up until I heard about the note, I really thought she killed him.
Me too.
I was very confused at how.
How the fuck do you kill yourself with a letter opener? Killing somebody else with a letter opener? Okay, I can buy that. Killing yourself? You know how much fucking force you need to get that into your head?
Did I say it was in his head? I forget.
Where else?
Well, listen, all right?
Balls?
The Japanese have a ritual. All right? Now.
I guess you could go in through your eyes.
Hopefully there's someone there to cut off your head after you've sliced through your guts. But if there's not...
It's a fucking letter opener, not a stomach opener. It's not going to do that.
Listen.
It's dull as shit.
There's a lot of squishy bits around there.
That would be like jamming your fucking finger in. It's pretty comparable.
There's a lot of squishy bits. I don't know. Like I really didn't believe he was dead at first, because when they showed the picture, it was where he was left on the ground in his office.
Right,
from that
when he
scene.
smacked
And I was so confused, like, what are you talking about? Oh, is she setting him up? That's interesting, because I was very positive he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Or if he was dead.
Well, I
dead,
thought he was
didn't
always
die
dead,
there.
but I thought she came in and stabbed him as he was laying there unconscious or something.
I didn't think she was anywhere near. I just thought, like, maybe she killed him later, and then they show the photo, it's him on the ground. I'm like, what? She's the first person to see him. Okay, then I guess maybe she stabbed him. So the timeline doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Makes more sense that he killed himself, I guess. But I guess he just never got off the ground there.
Yeah. I should have said, because I was thinking this during the movie, this reminded me of a lot of those old noir kind of movies. Have you ever watched those, like Double Indemnity or something? Any of those?
Some of them. I don't know if I saw those.
This, I think, actually, I don't know what it's listed at. Where the fuck is my phone?
I saw a black comedy.
Dark comedy, psychological drama, psychological thriller, satire, comedy, drama, thriller. I'd throw in neo-noir. I know it's a comedy neo-noir, but, like, it's got all the pieces. You've got femme fatales.
Yeah.
You've got murder. Mm-hmm. You've got a voice-over narration from the main character.
Fair.
You've got some stark contrast lighting. This is noir. It is.
Just need a little bit black and white.
You even got her putting up her feet on the desk and shit. This was noir.
Now, for you people at home, all right, she didn't go full Tarantino on you, okay? Don't get too excited.
She was wearing shoes, but they were very revealing shoes.
That might be your thing, all right? But she didn't go full Tarantino.
No. This isn't Playboy. This is Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. For the feet.
Yes, of course.
I will say, she had a lot of different shoes, and they were all nice shoes. She had a lot of money. However, was not a fan of usually the rest of what she was wearing. It was very weird. She was wearing like short shorts with a jacket, and I'm not talking, I'm talking suit jacket.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And then when we first see her as an adult, she's wearing this weird shirt that's like longer on one side than the other, or maybe it was a dress that was, I don't know, whatever it was.
It's high fashion.
Too high for me. Except for the shoes. The shoes were nice. I like the shoes, but
it is interesting for her to have all that stuff and, have a broke husband.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I guess they still had stuff. Maybe they're just swimming in debt. Some people can keep up appearances for a while you're swimming in.
She had to have some money. She was born poor. She was born the opposite. She was rich as a kid.
Yeah, I guess maybe she's still somewhat independently wealthy. I really didn't think she was that into him. Up until, the ending. I thought the whole ploy through the movie was, a ploy. Yeah. I thought she's just
I don't think she was. I think
his...
she just enjoyed using him. That's what I think it was about. She enjoyed having power, and when she could get power over him, that's what turned her on, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so, with a woman seeking power... Let's be very specific. I'm not talking all women here. We're just talking about a specific woman.
A character in a movie we saw.
It's easy to control some, bottom feeder nobody guy. So the more power he has, the more enticing he is to her because, if I can control this guy and he's rich, that makes me even more powerful. So I think that's why she was going after him, was because she found out about this whole inheritance thing. She always knew about it, actually.
Yeah, I think she always knew the desire.
Then once she was like, oh, that's becoming a reality because she clocks the murders immediately.
Yeah, I mean, he always seemed to talk about wanting the money, if half joking if a few people disappeared or knocked off or whatever. And then 2 in a row?
Yeah.
One? Oh, no.
And he starts with the youngest. Way to make it suspicious.
Yeah, it was the first one, and it seemed like that was probably the most rushed one, maybe?
Yeah.
Because he kills him it's the one from the trailer, where he ties the anchor around his ankle, and he throws the anchor over as the guy wakes up and he gets dragged off.
An anchor that, by the way, he's just carrying around, so it can't be that heavy.
Yes, it doesn't seem heavy enough to just drag the guy out like crazy. Feels like he probably could have grabbed onto something. But fine, whatever, it drags him out. But Margaret Qualley mentions later. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying
Margaret Qualley or Margaret Qualley, whichever.
I keep wanting to say Margot from Margot Robbie, but Margaret. But Margaret Qualley's character points out that she said he had a scholarship for swimming, and he drowned.
Yeah.
So that was very suspicious, and so she had someone follow him and figure the whole thing out.
Which is a really dumb thing to make you suspicious, by the way, because a lot of people who are good at swimming drown. Yeah. They have lifeguards at the Olympics. There's a reason. Drowning is very surprisingly easy to do for something that is so common.
But it's interesting because, I mean, I don't really remember them talking about it too much. Like, did they not find the anchor tied to his ankle? Did that just release him after he finally...
That's a good point, because they do have a casket, so I'm assuming they found the body.
Yeah.
I mean, my guess would be that's an easy accident. It's not like it was tied. There was a loop at the end of the rope, so you could just figure he stepped in the loop while throwing it, and then whoop.
I guess so. I mean, the loop seems kind of suspicious. Maybe
the loop was already there.
Maybe it was just like wrapped around, like
he didn't tie the loop. The loop was already in the rope.
No, I know it was already there, but I'm saying, like your headphones can get tangled around things.
Don't remind me.
You could flick the rope around. You ever see like people like tie a rope on to like the docks or whatever?
Yeah.
And like they'll flick it around and such.
Yeah.
I can almost see it like the anchor falls, the rope goes wild, it wraps around a leg by accident and drags him in.
Yeah.
I can see that being not so suspicious one, but perfect loop around his ankle seems kind of.
Well, my point though is if the loop's already there, you could very easily step into that by accident.
No, I get it, but that would still bother me. It's like, what are the odds of him?
Pretty high.
Not purposefully. Not purposefully. Perfectly stepping into this.
Also, the amount of drugs in his system.
Yeah, I can see why they got rid of it quickly, but so I like for most of the movie, I just figured, I mean, that she was trying to get the money, that she knew that he was into her the whole time, and that either she was using him, which I figured pretty quickly, but at first maybe I thought, this journey, the danger of the excitement and the potential money might be what brings them together as like a murderous little couple thing, because I don't remember Jessica Henwick from the trailer at all. Maybe she was there.
I don't either, but you remember the trailer a lot better than I do.
I remember Margot Qualley being there. Margaret.
Yeah, I remember Margot Robbie being there. That's how well I remember the trailer.
We just saw a Margot Robbie movie last week. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie definitely did not do what I expected, which, like I said, I give it props, but I also go, like, there probably were easier ways to do these things, because, like, the whole ending of him being like, oh, see, now, like I said, sound effect, he's in a jail, clank, and he's in a jail of a relationship, and he's crying as he's realizing what's happened to him, kind of thing. He sold his soul to get what he wanted, and I'm like, okay, cool, but, like, wouldn't it have been more impactful if he signed away everything to her, and then she didn't help him, and he got killed?
That would have been insane. I honestly thought it was going there for a little bit. I really thought she was coming, and then he starts saying, the priest starts reciting the Lord's Prayer, and it's like, oh, my gosh, we're really going here.
And, I mean, I'm glad we got to see, Jessica Henwick kind of say, fuck you. Yeah. Even though she's not a good person either. Nobody in this movie really is. But
just the uncle.
She's probably not either. Probably not. We don't see anything, but probably not.
Yeah,
he was at least a bad dad. So that's something at least.
A dick brother too,
Yeah, and uncle. Yeah. Terrible uncle. He never reached out to his nephew. None of them did. None of the relatives were like, here, let me help you out. Oh, you're living in squalor. Here, let me actually throw something your way. None of them do because none of them care. But, yeah, she wasn't murdering people. She just cheated on her boyfriend, which is shitty.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just cheated. But when you're comparing it to murder, there's levels.
Listen. I'm not saying she should feel responsible for his death or anything, okay? But the day she made out with another man, he exploded in his photo development room. Whatever the hell it's called.
A red room.
Red room?
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, I think I would rather my girlfriend murder me. Or, no, reverse that. I think I'd rather my girlfriend cheat on me than murder me. But the more I think about it, the more I'm not sure if that's true. Murder's quicker. Less pain.
Yeah, do I see it coming? Or, you know, we got some options here. That could be all right. Do I go in my sleep? Or?
Right, you know. Blow up. That's quick.
Yeah.
That's real quick.
They just flicked the light switch. It didn't barely even have time to register.
Yeah, just... I love the sound effect of that, too. It was just like you see the explosion and then hear it. It was cool. Ah, man. We are running out of time, so I want to jump to the, not the end of the movie, because we've talked about that, but so the final showdown with his grandfather was another thing we both thought was going to go a different way.
Yeah.
Because he shows up there because he invited him after the final death. He invites him there, and he hands him a gun and says, point it here at my chest. But then Glenn Powell's like, nah, I'm not going to shoot you for whatever reason. He chickens out. And he says, okay, cool. I'm going to hunt you then. And when he first takes the gun back and Glenn leaves the room, I think both of our first thought was he was going to shoot himself and set up Glenn Powell for murder.
I didn't think of that at first, but when the door was locked, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's time, like,
Yeah.
you know, I trap you in here. Now where's your alibi to get out of this?
Right. But then instead it becomes a shorter version of the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
And he starts chasing him around trying to shoot him. And then he goes back to his youth and remembers his bow skills and shoots him twice. Double tap. And, yeah, that was fine. It's interesting because they say, like, oh, it's ironic that I was caught for, you know, the one time I didn't actually murder somebody because it was self-defense, but that's not actually what ends up getting him in jail. It's actually the suicide he had nothing to do with. But then there's also, like, there's so many opportunities where I thought, oh, that's what's gonna be ironic, is that his uncle dies of a heart attack. He didn't kill him. You're like, oh, that's ironic. And then it's like, oh, he didn't actually kill his grandfather. Well, he did kill his grandfather, but he didn't murder him.
Yeah.
It was self-defense. Oh, that's ironic. Oh, he's in jail because of this guy, the guy he had nothing to do with. Oh, that's ironic. And it just kept being, I was like, we're kind of doing this too many times. I feel like we should have just done this once. And that's where I was like, we can eliminate that whole thing of him getting the job, because the second he gets the job, I no longer resonate with him because he's rich now. He's got a good job. He's got a good relationship with his uncle. He's got a good relationship with his girlfriend. Don't mention how he got her. We're not talking about that, but still, it's all good, go lucky, happy shit now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I no longer relate to this bullshit of you going after this fortune, because I'm like, your life's good enough. What are you doing? So that's why I'm like, we should have just dropped the happy shit. Get rid of the girlfriend, get rid of the uncle, get rid of the job, and this movie is streamlined and makes a lot more sense, I feel like.
Honestly, I thought it would just be, well, once we started seeing the happy shit and we started figuring, okay, Margot Qualley kind of probably has to be the evil one in some way.
Blackmail.
I thought blackmail. I didn't think she was gonna kill the girlfriend essentially right away, at least.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be, hey, he gives up on the billions because he's got everything.
Yeah.
But hey, I knew you were doing this. Now I've got this proof that she does drop on him in the movie.
Right.
And hey, I'm gonna need you to finish the other 4 at that time because I was
And
like,
get me the money.
yeah.
And so he either has to kill the rest of his family or kill her or kill other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured that's how this was gonna go.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by the direction they chose to go. And I'm not mad about it. I just think, like I said, there were sacrifices because of what they chose to do. Like, we're skimming over, oh, he killed his aunt with some teeth whitening shit. And we say that for 30 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm like, I would have enjoyed to see this play out a little bit more. And, that's kind of the sacrifice we made. Also, you lose some relatability. There's different drawbacks, but there's also a bigger gut punch at the end because of what we decided to do. Because we've got 2 gut punches right in a row. We've got the Jessica Henwick gut punch of her driving there just to say fuck you. And then we have the gut punch of Margot Qualley is now the mistress of your life, which... gut punch?
Listen, I'll take it. But I gotta say...
I would just say, if you're going to step on my balls, change the shoes. They looked very pointy.
Listen, that's the point. Okay? but
oh, God.
Hi,
Mom.
Listen, if I were Margot
Margot
Qualley,
Robbie?
Yes. If I were either of them, I don't know if I'd want to end up with him. That's why,
I don't think it's permanent. I think she's probably going to end up doing something to kill him, too.
But, he's gotten away with every single murder he's had a part of.
Yeah.
And he could just snap.
Yeah.
I know he was afraid to die, and we saw that a lot more right before he was going to die, and he did explain why I might seem so calm for a man who's about to die, because I thought she was going to come through. But, I did... For a little while there, he seemed very much more pissed at her. Maybe a little time under her stilettos. Maybe he snaps a little. Maybe he doesn't care about death row anymore.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just comes up with another crazy scheme. I feel like I'm missing one after Topher Grace, but not the aunt and not the uncle too. Was it only 6? I thought it was 7.
It was 7.
Ooh,
so
we got the first cousin who was real short. And then we've got Silicon Valley, who blew up.
Yeah.
And then we've got Topher Grace, who was poisoned.
Yeah.
Or was it caffeine or something like that? Or didn't say. Yeah, it was like a very large dose of caffeine.
Pre-workout that kills you.
Yeah.
Which also, we didn't even talk about that scene. Best scene in the movie. Fucking love that scene.
Oh, the samurai.
I called it too because they try to make him look like a rock star when he comes out, and I immediately clocked and was like, he's a pastor. He is 100% a pastor, and they're gonna cut to him being a pastor. And they literally did a double cut where it was like big cross, and then he's preaching. And I died. Also, speaking of things that made us die, they're like. There was a couple of things. So, by the way, he's in New Jersey, but he's meeting the people in New York. And the girl, her introduction, she goes like, I'm so hungry I could eat Sbarro. That made me die laughing. And then he's like, sorry, she's a little bit weird. She's from Philadelphia. That had both of us rolling. So some really good dialogue in this movie. But anyway, back to my...
people are out there.
Original thing with the pastor. Once they cut to him in the office, they play Relient K, which was so fucking funny. This movie was so well made. Yes, there are some weird quirks about the writing that I didn't always love, but I was always entertained.
Yeah.
And I thought overall the movie was a great trip, even if maybe it would have been easier or quicker or more traditional even to do some other choices. What we got was good, so why complain? I had a good time, and I'm sticking with that 7.5, despite however much we just complained about the plot.
Yeah, for all the complaining we've done, it didn't really do anything to tarnish the score.
No.
It was still a good time.
Yeah.
I still wish
Very
we would have
entertaining.
focused a bit more on those murders, and we still didn't figure out who that 7th one was, but still.
It doesn't matter. People died. Shit. There was one more uncle, I swear there was.
I know, right? Because there was someone before the teeth whitening, I feel like.
Yeah. I remember his face now. I forget how he died, but I remember we didn't show it. They cut away. It was like another explosion or something. I remember it, though.
Gosh.
They cut away. I remember being like, we didn't even show that one. One of the uncles we didn't even show dying. They just showed the setup and then cut away to the city. And I was like, we didn't even show it?
Yeah.
Plane. He gave him
sleeping pills or whatever.
When he put it in
his
coffee
yes.
so that he crashed his plane, and we didn't even get to see the plane crash.
No, we just
saw him go like,
we just saw him nose down.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? And that's how shitty those moments are. It's like we're just skipping right through them. It's like it's on fast forward.
Yeah, because that scene wasn't about the death. It was all about, Margot Qualley having a...
One day you will say her name right the first time.
Right.
That day will be a glorious day.
Margaret Qualley could have some blackmail.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, by the way, I think this is the first time I've seen Margaret Qualley in a movie and haven't seen her boobs. And then I was like, oh, right, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But they did sexualize her feet in that movie.
Yes,
so
that was Tarantino. They didn't go full Tarantino here.
No,
so
didn't.
Don't get your hopes up, you feet people.
I mean, there's enough for you. You'll be happy.
You gotta be a shoe person, all right?
It's like I'm saying. This is swimsuit edition. You're seeing her feet in thongs. Not literally, because I don't think she wears flip-flops with this, but, like, basically.
Listen, I'm not...
I think we're out of time.
I'm not the most familiar with the levels of this feet game, okay? Right. There are power levels out there I will never achieve.
Are you trying?
I wasn't, but I
You
just
weren't.
know I won't.
Now you are?
Well, listen, it's the right pair of feet,
Jesus. Dude, real quick before we do leave, since we're talking about Margaret Qualley, I think she's phenomenal in this movie. Because she plays, like we said, this femme fatale character who is very easy to be just like that, like, aloof, hot, but, like, unreachable character.
Yeah.
And she makes her both this evil, terrifying, badass sort of femme fatale, but also while playing her like the girl next door. And that was such a fun, like, combination of characters and types that I was like, that made her more scary because you're like, oh, this would have worked on me and I'm scared now.
Yeah, listen, it's the girl next door figured out she could manipulate you. Go.
Jesus Christ, that's terrifying. Anyway, we love the movie. We're still recommending it. The writing is the one area of weakness, but everything else about this movie is phenomenal. Like I was saying, I considered giving it an 8, and that's even with this iffy writing. If the writing was better, this would have been the best movie of the year by far so far in my mind. I really, really enjoyed this movie. There's just a couple of nitpicks with the writing there.
Fair enough.
So, 7.5.
7.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.
Bye.